Today I'm going to show you how to make the most incredible, juicy oyster mushroom tacos. You won't miss the meat at all with this incredibly simple recipe. They're savory, garlicky, juicy, crispy, just a little smoky, and so good. We're gonna start with a pound of oyster mushrooms. This looks like a lot, but it's gonna cook down quite a bit. The only thing you really need to do to prep these mushrooms is to trim off the ends that look more sort of congealed. Like you can see here, this is the only part I'm gonna trim off. The long stems are totally fine. For pieces like this size, I like to rip them about in half. It's very easy to shred them. You don't want to rip them too small because they are going to shrink a lot and we want them to be kind of like bite-sized chunks. If you have small mushrooms like these, I would just separate them and keep them whole. Once you shred the last of your mushrooms, you're going to transfer them into a gallon-sized bag. This was going to make them really easy to marinate. Just pop them on in there. We're gonna set this aside for now and we're going to make our marinade in a small jar. The marinade is simple but very flavorful. Start with 1/4 cup of orange juice, 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, a finely diced chipotle pepper in adobo, along with a tablespoon of adobo sauce from the same can, 2 to 3 cloves of minced garlic, some ground cumin, and oregano. Seal the jar and shake well until it's emulsified. You'll notice that there's no salt in this marinade, which is intentional. If you add salt to the mushrooms now, they're going to release all of their liquid and get really mushy before we sear them, which is not ideal. So we're gonna season our mushrooms with salt later. Now we're going to take our marinade and pour it over our mushrooms. Then massage the mushrooms in the bag until they're all evenly coated in seasoning. Now we're gonna store these mushrooms in the fridge, ideally overnight, but I'd say for a minimum of 2 hours so the flavors can really penetrate into the mushroom. I highly recommend using a cast iron to cook these mushrooms for the best browning, but if you don't have that, it'll still work in another pan, it just won't get as brown. When you're ready to cook your mushrooms, preheat your cast iron on the stove and put enough oil in the pan so it completely covers the bottom of the pan. Start by adding half of the mushrooms to the pan because we don't want to overcrowd it. You're going to give them a quick mix and then let them sit in the pan for 3 to 5 minutes until they're brown. Then do your best to flip them over and cook for another 5 to 7 minutes, this time stirring the mushrooms every 2 minutes or so to try to brown all sides evenly. Once they're done cooking, sprinkle them with salt and remove them from the pan. Then cook the other half of the mushrooms using the same cooking process. And now you have this delicious, meaty, juicy oyster mushroom taco meat that you can use in pretty much anything. Honestly, it's so delicious on its own that my favorite way to enjoy this is in a simple taco with some vegan cheese and a little bit of cilantro and white onion on top. But you can also use it in your favorite taco, burritos, burrito bowls, quesadillas, you name it. The flavor on these is so insanely good. You really have to try them out.